This is a roommate bill splitter. It calculates who owes who. I did not code the math. I defined the database relations. And Agentic AI built the logic in 15 minutes. Let me show you how. Here is the architecture of the roommate bill splitter full stack application. So first we have our frontend, then our backend and the database. In the frontend we have add expenses UI and we'll have list of balances. And in the backend we have APIs for expenses and for settlements. And we'll have a business logic in our backend. And in the database we have users and expenses. And every user will have multiple expenses. So front end will be talking with backend using Axios HTTP calls. Backend will be talking with database using TypeORM relationships. Here another point is we are using database of Postgres and we are using Docker for this Postgres database. Moving on to the implementation part. So here are our master prompts. So moving on to the initialization of our project. First, roommate bill splitter. So we already have our folder created roommate bill splitter. Next, we'll work on initializing the git. So git init. So now the git is initialized. We can see it here. So we can say git status. We have one file git add full stop we'll add. So now we have the first one. Then we want to create an empty docker compose.yaml and we want to create another dot git ignore. So to skip the node modules that will be created. So I'll run all of these commands at once. I'll copy this. So as we see here dot git ignore and empty is created and not empty with two additions node modules and .env and there is one more as well to add dist. So dist is also added dist folder and docker compose which is an empty. Moving to the next steps. So after that what we'll be doing is we'll be setting up the front end project. So we'll use the command to create the front end project of React using Vite. So now we'll come here and we'll try to run the command. So this will be working on creating our sample React application for us. And a folder will be created called splitter frontend. So in the meantime, it initial installing the packages and all, we are able to see the folder is created and we can see the folder structure having public folder, src folder and .git ignore other files like package.json, readme.md, white.config.js. So here we have our basic, our main page will be loaded from here, main.jsx. So as we see here, the application is up and running, import 505173. So now we'll come to the application, web application to the web browser and we'll be loading it. So here we are able to see our React application up and running that we have just created, which is a sample project. Now we'll stop it and we'll move to the next step. What is the next step? To one second. So as the project got created of the React front end, so now what do we have? We have npm install is also finished. So here we are installing few packages for Axios and all. So first we'll change into the directory of splitter frontend and now we'll install these packages one after another. So here npm install Axios. So that is used to make calls to backend. And we are now installing Tailwind. Tailwind package, post CSS, auto prefixer packages that are used for CSS. And then now all the three are done, and we'll come back to the root folder. After coming back to the root folder, now our front end repository is set up. Now we'll work on creating the backend repository. So we'll copy the command of creating the backend application using nest. So here this will also create a backend folder. So here we can see splitter hyphen backend. Here also we have a structure of src folder, test folder, and we have package.json, we have readme.md, we have tsconfig.json and all. So our application will be starting from src and main.ts file. So from here our application will be started, and we can see the app.module.ts file, app.service.ts file, where after starting the application we'll be able to make and the controller as well. So we'll be calling this particular API after once the project is set up. So it is taking some time for installing the packages. We'll wait for a few moments. So now this is also done. Now again we'll come back to this folder. The project is finished. So now we'll move into the splitter folder, and we'll start this application. Pm run start dev, because this is in NestJS project, we'll start using start colon dev. So now we should be able to see the application is running successfully. So we have zero errors and the application started running, and we'll come to the browser and see basic call. Yeah, hello world. We are able to see the hello world. So as I've mentioned previously, here we have hello world. So hello learning by doing. So on saving, the server is again restarted, and we'll be able to see on loading hello learning by doing. Our backend is also running successfully. Now we'll again get back to the prompt, and we'll see what packages are being installed. So we are able to see here a few packages that are getting installed. So we'll stop the backend server, and now we will work on pasting these and running them. So this takes some time. So now, okay, one more package is one more command, Swagger. So Swagger is the package that we use to view all the APIs as a documentation, so that we'll see once it is created. So now this is also done. Again, we'll come back to the root folder. So our setup is also done. We have created both front end project, back end project. Yeah, and our setup is completely done. Initializing the project is done. Now we'll move into the planning phase. So what is planning phase? So here we'll see the prompt, what it says. I have a React White front end, splitter front end. So the project that we created, and a NestJS backend in splitter hyphen backend. So in this folder we have the backend project, and an empty docker hyphen compose.yml. So this is the empty file that we have. So getting back here in the root folder, writing before writing any code, read the existing folder structure and key files. So we are asking our agent to read the existing folder structure and key files, create a clear numbered implementation plan. So before each time in a distinct phase of work, example phase 1 Docker plus DB, phase 2 NestJS entities and relationships, phase 3 settlement logic and API, phase 4 React UI. So we are asking it to create an implementation plan numbered, so that we can easily follow. Next, explain how the one to many relationship works between users and expenses. Explain that step. Also, we are asking it to tell, do not write any code yet, just output the plan. So this is the prompt that we have created. So the main intention of this is we want to create a numbered implementation plan so that we can follow each and every step how our coding agent is will be implementing our requirements. So we'll copying this, and at the end we have given one more, wait for my confirmation before proceeding. So it will not proceed further, it will just give us the numbered implementation plan. So now I'll paste it here and I'll press enter. So now we'll see how the coding agent will work based on the prompt that we have given. So it's saying that it is thinking. So we'll click the drop down. So what it is doing, let me explore the existing folder structure and key files before creating an implementation plan. So that is what the first uh, thing that we've given, right? So the same thing it's doing. So and here allow this bash command. So what it is doing is it is asking us the permission to go through the directory. So moving above agent. So agent is working on explore project folder structure. On clicking this, we'll be able to see what agent it is working on. Agent explore the folder structure of the roommate bill splitter project at specific folder. And again, it is asking for some more permissions. We'll allow them. Again, for another permission. Here, I need to see the root level files and folders, the bill front end folder structure, the splitter backend folder structure, the docker file.yml contents. Read the actual contents of this key file. So it knows that these are the key files according to our project structure. Report the full tree and file contents. So it has given the agent all these steps. So the agent will work on one after another. So that's what it has done. So if we scroll up, this is the agent that took the task, and then bash command one after another, reading the files, again bash working on accessing these files. So again it is list front and assets directory, it is checking what assets are there. Read .gitignore to understand excluded files. So whatever .gitignore we've created, it read it as well. So here is the full picture and implementation plan. So what exists, it says docker-compose is empty, splitter backend src app folder, nestjs boilerplate only, no db, no modules. So this is a basic project that we've created, boilerplate code. Next, backend boots on port 3000, no cards is implemented, and splitter hyphen frontend white default counter demo. So this is what it has understood by analyzing all of our code. So next is the implementation plan. As we told, Docker plus database setup, phase 1. Phase 2, NestJS entities and relationship, that is phase 2. Phase 3, settlement logic and API. So these many APIs are there that it has to be creating for us. Phase 4, React UI. So one to many users. So we asked us to explain about the one to many many relationship. So in general, normally when there are one person will have daily many number of expenses, right? So that is called as one to many relationship. So one user will have many expenses paid by. So for example, two five members are there in the room, one person can pay 5 to 10 number of bills, right? So that is the thing. one to many mean here. And moving to the next, so it is asking us, so the foreign key lives on the many side, which is a standard relationship pattern. Ready to proceed, confirm, and I'll start with phase one. So before that, we already have a master prompt. So in a we will be giving it our master prompt. So again we'll be telling. So we'll see what a master prompt is. So I have a React Vite frontend, same folder, frontend folder, and then NestJS backend in backend, and the empty Docker compose in the root. Build a roommate build splitter for Indian users. So the same details we are again reiterating, the same API endpoints, calls, frontend, and all. So give me all the code and the final commands to run. So this is the command that we'll give in extinction, and we'll see what it does. So as we seen, if we scroll up, it is thinking the user wants me to build a complete roommate build splitter application. Let me implement all phases systematically. Docker Compose, Next.js backend, React frontend. So these are the things. So the same whatever we have read previously, the Docker Compose for Postgres setup, backend details, all this. And then where it is going, it is working on creating the plan. Sorry, creating the implementation actually. If we scroll above and say we'll read a few portions of this. So moving above backend structure needed. So this is what the backend implementation is needed. Scrolling down slowly, there's a lot of information that it has given us, so we can read it for better understanding. And one more point here I want to add is, so later you can work. I'll be pasting out this particular prompts in the description and the comments, where you can go through them one after another. So here the main thing is how we are structuring our prompt. Here I want to highlight why prompts are important. So here we have structured each and every step properly, what we need and what we require. So based on that, our coding agent will try to fulfill our request. So these details has to be provided. So the structuring of the prompt is also very important. We cannot just say create a build splitter full stack application. Yes, we can say, but it takes a lot of time for building it, and it hallucinates as well. So here, if you see moving further, it has first started working on creating the file docker-compose.yml, which was empty previously. It worked on creating this. With it will be running on, we can connect to this Docker Compose on port this database name, username, and a password. And if you scroll down a bit more, it is working on writing these individual files. So it is writing code to this roommate file. 17 lines were written, and to this file 25 lines. 25 lines. It is going on writing all the data, and it is working on writing this particular as well. So once, if you want to see here, getting back here to the back end, we can see here a new folder, two new folders are created, expenses and users. These are two separate modules. Based on the requirement, they are created. So here, if we come to this user module, in user.entity.ts, we'll understand, we'll have a name and how many expenses he has done. So here is the expenses. So as we have seen, one to many relationship, one user will have many expenses. If you click on expenses, will come here. So each expense will have a description, amount, and who paid it. Who paid it is the user, paid by ID. So this is what it has created in the backend, and it got linked here as well. If you see here in the app.module.ts, users module, expenses module is also created, and we'll come into the agentic what it is doing. So scrolling above, we'll scroll to the top and see what it has created. So all files written. Here is the complete summary and run commands. Here we'll be able to see the list of files where it made changes. First in docker-compose, Postgres on port 5434, and then chords plus swagger enabled on this particular file. If you click here, we redirected to this particular file. And if you click on again app.module.ts, here type orm wired to TypeORM wired to DB. So here TypeORM, using TypeORM, we are connecting to the Postgres database. So we have given the details, and then we are having user entity. As we've seen previously, a user entity is created with one to many relationship. So whenever we are creating a user, we are creating a DTO, validated DTO, and then user service. So here this has create and find all methods, and users.controller.ts. We have APIs users of post for creating a user and find all users. These are two separate APIs. And again, coming to the module integration. So users are being included here in this module. And then next we are going to the expenses entity. So in expenses entity with many to one. So many expenses can be linked to one user, and validate the DTO. So create expenses.dto.ts. So whenever they are creating an expense, they'll give a description, amount, and who paid it, paid by ID. So settlement algorithm. So how is does the settlement algorithm work is here. Get settlement. So here is the business logic how settlement works in this 25 to 59 lines. Yeah. And module import. How modules are imported. Sorry. And then updating the it has worked on index.ts, index.css, and app.jsx. So this is the complete front end that it has created. And now coming to the below, it is asking us to run the application. So now what we'll do, we'll open the terminal. So the first command it has given us is docker compose up hyphen d. Okay, first we have to change into the directory. We are already in this directory, so we'll just post our docker compose. So here we can see our docker compose is running. So it's pulling the image. Hmm, yeah, here the image is pulled and database is set up here. Here we can see in the docker compose that this is running. So it is running on 5432 on the docker, and 5434 we can connect to this. So now we'll try to connect to this particular using the database dbeaver client. So once I'll try to do is I'll go to the docker compose, and from here I'll get the details. So 5434 is the port. So first I'll click on the plus. So this plus our database is Postgres. After coming to Postgres, here localhost is the same, and the port is 5434. And then what is the database name? We'll see here. Database name is splitter underscore db. So we'll replace this Postgres with splitter underscore db. And what is the username is Postgres. So here also we have Postgres, and we need to give a password. So what is the password? We'll copy the password here. We'll paste it and we'll test the connection. So time zone is wrong. Database post result test. Okay. Yeah. there was a change needed. So here in the advanced, this replace legacy time zones. This has to be enabled, and I updated these details of port database. Now this is fine as well. Now we are able to see, yeah, we got connected, and then going to the okay. So now we can see that we got connected to the database, but the tables are empty. So now what is the next step that we need to do? So after database is up, now we have to open another terminal. So this is terminal 1. So we need to open another terminal. In this another terminal, we need to get into splitter backend. So cd splitter backend. We came to the folder and we have to use the command npm run start dev. On running the application, yeah, our application is started. Backend is running on port 3000. Swagger documentation on 3000 API. So previously we've seen here the same thing. Okay, start dev on port 3000 forward slash API. Here these are the APIs, API documentation. So in users we have two APIs, creating a user and getting the list of users that are existing already. So there is an empty list, so there are no users. And the same way with expenses, we'll create an expenses settlements is another API. Now once we'll come to the dbeaver and see if the table is created, we'll right click, refresh it. Now we are able to see two tables, expense and user, these two users. Yeah. Now moving back here, what is the next thing? We have to go into the third terminal, terminal 3. We have to open another terminal, and now we have to change to front end. So npm splitter backend front end. We came here. Now npm run dev. Using this, we need to start the application. So now the application is started. So again, we'll redirect here and we'll load it. So here, if you see, lot of okay, we see that UI is not that good. What we'll try to do is we'll try to tell the AI to improve the UI. So first once what we'll try to do is we'll get add star. Mm. So now all so as okay, our front end is there, but the UI is not good. Good. We'll try to say uh, nice the UI, modernize the UI. So we'll just say modernize the UI and we'll see how React, how the agent will be working on and what output it will give us. So it is working on creating all of this. I'm going to build this out with a tip. Okay. Drop down blur. So on giving a prompt, it has worked on let me redesign the UI with a more modern look, gradient background, glass morphism cards, better header, avatar, initials. You can see it's making a lot of things. I'll generate avatar colors based on a simple hash for each person's name to keep things consistent and visually distinct. Writing the writing the component. So it's synthesizing it. So once we'll see again here, we've seen till here better header, avatar and initials for roommates instead of boring IDs, better empty states with icons using Unicode or simple SVGs, progress bar, pill or chip tags for better visibility hierarchy, better color accents, subtle animated gradient, better form styling, dividers and visual hierarchy, amount display, status indicators. So if you scroll down, done, here is what changed. So it has written worked on 401 lines, and this is what it has given us. So we'll try to reload our application. Okay, backend is running, front end is reloading. We will try to reload our application. So here still we can see it is not modern. Hmm. Is it, why is this UI? Once cross check the UI. Once what we'll try to do is we'll try to see here and clear cache and see what is the issue. No. The once cross check the UI, it is not good. There are no cards and all. Hmm. Yeah, so as it is saying here, the user is saying the UI does not look good. There are no cards visible. Yeah, as I mentioned, Tailwind 4. So here if you see, Tailwind 4, if uses post CSS, you need Tailwind. If using Vite, you need this. Without this, the import won't work and not Tailwind classes. So some changes are needed. So now I see the problem clearly. Tailwind v4 is installed. No, Vite. So that is the issue. So Tailwind is installed but not configured. Hmm. So found the root cause. Tailwind 4 is installed. Yeah. So allow it. Bundler integration. So once we'll see if get add full stop, what changes are being made, we'll try to understand. I think no UI changes are done. Only the Tailwind integration has to be done correctly. So packages are installed. Good, the package is installed. Now let me update white.config.js to add the Tailwind 4 white plugin and rewrite app.jsx with solid visible cards. Hmm. So now rewrite app.jsx with solid clear visible cards, no glass morphism. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, the implementation is done. If we scroll above, we can see what it has done. So here two things were wrong and both are now fixed. Root cause, Tailwind was not working at all. UI redesign, solid cards instead of glass. Two things are updated. So now we'll come back here. Yes. So now we see a better UI right now. So roommates are there. Yeah, once we'll try to zoom out this. Okay, we'll, yes. So here we have Rahul, one user that we are adding in the UI. One user, Kohli is another user, Rohit, another user, three Indian cricket team players, for example, here. So here, what do we say? Groceries or no, instead of shoes, oh no. So this is for room splitting, right? Groceries, 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 like 1100 rupees. Who paid it? So we can get the list from above players we have added. For example, Kohli played it. Record expenses. So 1100. We'll add another expense. Breakfast. They had it outside, for example, and it costed them 300. And who paid it? Rahul paid it. And we'll record this. And again, we'll, for example, lunch as well. They have gone out for lunch, LUNCH, and this costed them 700 rupees. Who paid it? For example, Rohit paid it. Record the expense. So here, if you see, scroll bottom settlements. So total spent are 2100 per person, 700 rupees. Kohli 400 rupees uh, plus, that means green. So he has spent 400 rupees extra. Rohit spent 700, it's gone zero, gets back nothing. So Rohit owes red color 4000 minus. So that means he owes, as it is saying, he owns. To whom? To Rohit, because, sorry, to Kohli. So this is the roommate bill splitter application. Yes. So getting back to this particular complete application. So we have seen that our application is built in one prompt, and few hurdle we have seen with database setup, that is, and with one prompt we are able to build the complete application, simple application. So front end is running, sorry, backend is running, front end is running, and Docker is running. So if we see our application here, front end using React, backend using Nest, and database using Docker, Postgres. So here, if we observe, we have created prompts. We use those prompts to create, to build the application. So here I did not build anything. uh, I built the prompts. I did not write the code. What did I build? I built the prompts. Using the prompts, we are able to create our application. So I did not write each line of code. Did I write any line of code here at all? No. So I architected and built these prompts correctly based on my requirement, and the coding agent took over the prompts and implemented what is required. And as we have seen that UI is not good. So we told the agent that UI is not good and it is not visible. Then itself reanalyzed the code and it understood that what the issue is and it reworked on it to fix it. So this is the capability of AI agents right now for our software engineering. So no longer will be working on only front end, only back end, or only database. So we should be in a place of building the full application from scratch. We should have the architecture eye. No longer am a front end developer, no longer a back end, and no longer am a database developer. As we've seen, agent has built the whole application. So our role, we need to be learning the whole complete application architecture. The prompt is in the description. Try this today. Learn how to structure related data. Subscribe for day 3.